What's up, guys? What's up, guys? You got Fleazy here, needing a haircut with Floyd T Barbecue. Floyd T, that's my name. Anyway, uh, it's a Monday Night Football. I've been thinking about ribs since I woke up this morning, so I'm gonna do a rib smoke today. Gonna smoke some ribs with a little bit of hickory. I normally do like pecan or apple or cherry, but today we're gonna do hickory, man. I want to get a little. I might do hickory and oak, get a little bit of a Texas flavor on these things. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's get to it. Let me stop talking. All right, guys. So here are my spare ribs. I didn't really do much trimming. The only trimming I did was I cut that little flap off the back that kind of loops over the back of the ribs. And I do season and cook that too because that's my little snack while the big slab is cooking. I pulled the membrane off as well. I know one of the great barbecue debates are membrane or no membrane on the back. I got so used to peeling the membrane off that the last time I did ribs, I left the membrane on and I didn't even really care for the membrane. So I'm kind of team membrane off. So I pulled those off. And this is a pretty good slab. It was pretty big, $10 from Food Depot, which I believe is a chain, grocery store chain local to Atlanta. So I'm gonna season these with hot sauce as my binder, Trapeze. A little bit of Saison seasoning for color. All I got is a little bit of that left anyway. This spicy hot Cajun seasoning that I got from local farmers market. It's pretty good. And then, the staples, garlic powder, onion powder. And I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of this spicy Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning, the hot blend. It's actually very, very spicy. So I'm gonna go light, but I do want a little spice. I like a little spice on my ribs. And then I'm gonna finish it off Texas style with some pepper. So I'm gonna season these up in the sink. I know some people frown against seasoning meat in the sink. However, if you clean your sink, then there's nothing to worry about. And I did clean my sink. And the only reason I'm seasoning these in the sink today is because I just seasoned some chicken in the sink that I threw in the freezer for a later cook. I normally use my counter, but since the sink was already sterilized as far as germs go, I might as well just use the sink. So I'm gonna season these up, then I'll take you out and show you my grill setup. But once I season these up, I'll show you what they look like. I'm actually gonna let them marinate for some hours while I finish my work day, and then we'll get to the grill. All right, guys, so here are my seasoned ribs. They're probably gonna be spicy because I did hit them with a little extra of that Slap Your Mama spicy seasoning. And of course I got a good dose of pepper on there, as you can see. But it's only 2 of us eating these, and actually 3 of us, and all of us like spicy food, so we're gonna be good to go. So here we go, the seasoned ribs. I'm gonna wrap these up in some plastic wrap, throw them in the fridge, and they're gonna sit in the fridge for probably for about, let's at the time, about 4 hours. And then I'm gonna cook them on the smoker. So I'll see you guys at the smoker. All right, guys, so here's the grill setup. Today I'm using my Char Griller Acorn, my trusty Kamado style grill. It's not ceramic though, it's made with double insulated metal. And if you have a grill similar to this, or you have a green egg or something, this is a good video to note on how to manage your temperature. So what I'm doing right now is I have my coals set up. Not really necessarily a pyramid, but I kind of got them stacked up. And the way I like this grill is I got 2 Royal Oak fire starter cubes in here. And then I'm going to light those. And then I'm going to take some coals once they're lit and kind of cover them up a little bit. And I got the bottom vent all the way open. And I'm just going to let the coals heat up on their own. And once it gets to a point where I can barely hold my hand, once it's that hot, I'll then close the top grill down, the top lid, and put my probe on here and let the grill just heat up gradually till it gets to about maybe 225, maybe like probably about 225, 220. Once the grill gets to about 220, then what I'll do is I'll close the bottom vent down to maybe the 1 setting, and the top vent I close that to the 1 setting as well, because the grill is going to continue to heat up. And with these grills, you don't want to let them, you don't want them to get out of hand, because if the coals get too hot, or if you just place hot coals in here, it's easier and it's better to get the grill hotter than to have the grill too hot and to bring it back down to temperature. You want to let it come up gradually, so you got to have time to let your grill come up to temperature. So that's what I'm going to do. And then once the grill comes up to temp, I'll put my heat deflector, which I just use a makeshift pizza pan foil, and then I put my grate on top as well, and we'll be ready to cook. And also I put my wood on around that time as well. So once it heats up, grill heats up, gets to temp, I'll put this wood on, which right here I have a chunk of hickory, 2 chunks of hickory, and I got some post oak that I soaked. I normally don't soak my chips, but for a cook like this, I decided to soak them anyway. I know that's one of the other great barbecue debates. And then we'll be ready to smoke. And so I'll just dial it in on this grill to run about 250. The bottom vent is going to be probably halfway between 0 and 1, top vent the same way. And that'll give me a consistent burn at 250 degrees or 275 for a long time. You know, the coals are pretty much, usually when I do long cooks on here, I can do a 5 or 6 hour cook, close the grill down, and then next time I use this grill, there'll still be a lot of coals left that haven't even burned. That's how efficient these type of grills are. So if you want something like this, the green eggs, you know, are in the thousands of bucks still, but you can get a char grill at Acorn that cooks just about the same, if not the same, for like maybe 250 to 300 bucks. So just keep that in mind, people. Anyway, that's enough about the grill setup. We'll be back when it's time to cook. Well, I don't have anything going on, so might as well give you a snapshot of the lit coals. So I put my fire starter cubes in there, got them lit, covered them up with some coals, so that way all the coals next to and around the fire starters are going to catch. So that flame's going to go down once the fire starter has burnt up, and then the coals will start to heat up. And then once they get hot enough, as I mentioned, I'll put the grate on, put my temperature probe on. And this is one I just bought from Walmart, for a probe thermometer, cheap, for 20 bucks. You can't really beat that for that price. So, and you know, it's expert grill, but it works just as good. I have 3 other thermometers, digital, that are Walmart brand, and they've worked great for years. So you don't have to really spend that kind of money. But I'm cheap anyway, so I'm going to use that. It's for a probe. I'm only using 1 probe just to keep the grill temp. And I'm going to run the grill around probably 250, maybe 275, since I want to have the ribs done a little bit after the Monday night football game starts. So that's where we are. All right, guys. So I guess this video was turning into a char grill at Acorn grill setups, heat management / Kamado style grill heat management. So anyway, just a helpful tip for guys using these kind of grills. My grill's pushing 240, and I want to run the ribs around 260, 270. But the grill's going to continue to heat up. So what I'm going to do now is close this top vent down to probably about right there, right under after 1. And the bottom grill, I'm going to close down to about a half. And the grill's already pretty much hot. It's going to continue to rise in heat, but it's going to slow it down. It's going to slow it down. And since I know my grill and I know the settings, it's going to settle in around 275 pretty shortly, maybe a little higher. And the grill temp is going up pretty quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and dial it down to a half. And that right there is going to help me settle in probably around 280. And then it'll get back down to where I wanted it at, which is about 270, 260. So, and there we go. See, the temp is already starting to slow down just a little bit. And I'm using the store brand coals, you know, because I just decided to do that today. You can smoke with those too, just in case you didn't know that. So they tend to smoke a little bit more. So as long as the smoke is still coming out, I'm gonna let it settle in and leave it where it is. See, right now it's actually back at 266, so it's starting to settle in a little bit, 265. So, and that's perfect. So that way, um, the coals can get heat, they can get settled in, and then when they stop smoking, I can go ahead and get the wood on, get the ribs on, and we'll be good to go. So anyway, just my lesson in heat management. The temperature is doing just what I want it to do, so we're gonna let that ride. And I'd rather it be just a little bit cooler, so that way when I open it up and put the wood and everything else on, it's gonna heat up automatically for the air, from the air and the wood. So there we go, heat management. All right, guys, real quickly, here's my wood setup. I got one hickory on top, one kind of on the side. And the reason I put it there, and I try to also put the post oak chips kind of around the side, but not too far away, is because I want the smoke to gradually spread. And like I said, the coals are not going to burn all the way out to here. They're only pretty much, when I'm done cooking, they're going to pretty much just burn maybe like half. So that way later on, this other hickory will catch. And we'll have some hickory smoke for a good couple hours. So anyway, that's my wood set up. Let me close this back down to get my ribs on so my fire doesn't get too hot. All right, guys, so here's my setup with my ribs and my trimmings. I got them on. I had to cut this little flap off of here because it was overlapping. So, but I did still kind of push the ribs together to bunch them up. So they're still kind of overlapping over the diffuser a little bit, but it's all good. It's still not direct heat. I've never done this thing with the onions before, but I have a friend of mine that grills, does some pretty good grilling. And on Facebook, I see in his videos, he has onions and bell peppers on his ribs. So I figured I'd give it a try. You know, I like onions flavor. I like onions. Love onions, actually. So didn't do the bell peppers yet. I'll see if I taste anything with these onions. If so, I may try bell peppers next time. Usually I just put like an onion right there just for aroma. That's what I normally do when I have an onion on hand. Most of the time I do. But anyway, that's the setup. So I'm gonna spritz them every hour, the ribs, with 1 part apple cider vinegar, 3 parts water, a little mixture. That seems to work pretty well for me. Adds a little twang, but not too much flavor to where it changes the flavor of the meat. So this is what we got going on, guys. So I'll be back when it's time to spritz again. Let's let it roll. All right, guys, we are an hour in, and as you can see, it's gotten dark already, but I have plenty of light. So I decided to bump these up to 300, just to, you know, so they can be done in about 3 hours maybe, and I can eat them while I'm watching the Monday night football game. So got it running at 300 on the dot. Got my top vent right now at a half open. Bottom vent is at 1. These particular coals don't seem to burn as hot, so that's why the vents are open. Usually I can have each one set at 1. I have this one set at 1, and it'll still maintain about 300. So this is what we got, folks. Looking good, looking good. Actually, I could spritz now. I might just spritz a little bit. I don't want the seasoning to run off, so let's go ahead and see. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and spritz just a little bit. Just a little bit of spritz. But it's actually pretty moisturized, so we don't need too much moisture. So these are my little tips right here. Let those maybe cook a little bit longer before I chew on them. But yeah, there we go, folks. 1 hour. All right, guys, it's hour 2, and I just stepped in front of the light. The grill's been fluctuating between 271 and 322, depending on how I change the vents. These are store brand coals. Actually, the store brand coals are okay. Walmart coals are okay. But these Kroger coals, they fluctuate so much, they suck. So just a lesson in why do you use Kingsford and good charcoal versus whack charcoal. But if you know what you're doing, you still get the job done. I know what I'm doing. I'm still going to get the job done. So anyway, the average temperature is 300. So let's open these up and spritz them again. So this is at the hour 2. I'm not going to wrap these. The onions are, I guess they're cooking okay. So I'm going to spritz them again. I'm going to let them onions just ride on there. I don't think they're going to burn, but we'll just leave them on there. You're learning along with me. So when you put onions on your ribs, this is what happens. So I don't know if he ever takes the onions off or not. That's a good question, but we'll see. I'll leave them on. A little more spritz. All right, and I'm not gonna wrap these, so I'm gonna let them go at 300. I'm gonna take this little burnt snack off. Actually, it's not all the way burnt. And snack on this. And all right, this is hour 2. Let's let them keep going, man. At 300. All right, guys, we are at the 3-hour mark, and we're running 316. I didn't want it to get this high, but anyway, let's see what we're looking like at the 3 hours. Okay, there we go. Got these onions on here, and they look weird, so I'm thinking I'm gonna just take them off. Just throw them in the grass. That's something to come eat them. There we go. Okay. So the ribs are looking good. Got a little char on them. I'm actually not in a rush to eat right now. And I forgot to bring my tongs, but I still want to do the bend test. Try to pick them up. Actually, I'm not going to pick them up. So let me go get my tongs and I'll be right back. All right, I got my tongs. Let's see what they're flexing like. Trying to pick them up from the back. Maybe from the front. If I can get up under there, guys. There we go. Okay, we got some flex. They're cool. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not in a hurry to eat. Oh, let me also mention, I didn't talk about wrapping ribs. When I cook for other people, I wrap my ribs. When I cook for myself, I don't, because I like a little bit of tug. Us barbecue guys know that fall off the bone isn't necessarily the best. I like my ribs kind of a little bit dry. I'm still gonna spritz these real quick, but I'm gonna let them go for another hour, so I don't want them to dry out. So we got our spritz, and I like mine kind of dry with a little tug, so I don't really wrap my ribs. I'm cooking these, like I said, it's only gonna be a few people eating them, so I'm gonna go ahead and let them go like they are. And I'm gonna tone the temperature down and let the grill run about around 250, 260-ish. And just let them go for another hour, and then I'm gonna take them off. I'm sure they'll be done by then. I actually can eat them now, but I'm gonna let them go. Let them get a little bit more bark, a little bit more tender, and then we'll be ready to take them off, man. So that's where we are. One more hour. Let's do it. All right, guys. So I've been on the phone and watching football, so these ribs have been going for probably about an hour and about maybe 20 minutes, man. So total cook time has been like 4 hours and 20 minutes. I dialed my gauges, not my gauges, but my vents down so that it would pretty much slow smoke. So I got that on the half. I got the bottom on the half. Temperatures went all the way down to 209, which is cool. Let me get out the way. So that way the ribs didn't cook too much. So I'm gonna take them off now, but let's check them out. Okay, there we go. They got the little char that I like on them. And I know they're tender enough, so I'm gonna take them off. But yeah, here we go, guys. Unwrapped ribs on the char grill at Acorn. 4 hours and about 20 minutes cook time. Guys, here are our finished ribs. And as you can see, they did pass the bend test, because when I picked them up, that bone fell out. So you know they're tender. I didn't wrap them. I let them go for about 4 hours. 4¼ hours, so there was one onion that stayed on there. But anyway, man, yeah, these ribs are gonna be good. I'm not gonna eat them right now. I'm gonna probably tin them with some foil, eat them a little bit later. But yeah, man, so here we go. All right, guys, so our ribs are done. 4 hours and 20 minutes cook time. They aren't the prettiest ribs, but they're real ribs. Just like I like them. So anyway, that's my cook. I think I got some ribs I did a year or two ago. You can watch that video as well. But thanks for watching, man. Like, subscribe my channel. And I got some ribs to eat. So have a good day. Have a good evening, guys. Floyd T Barbecue. Like, subscribe, share, and watch my other videos. I'll holla.